Deuteronomy begins with Moses addressing the new generation of Israelites just before they cross the Jordan River to enter the Promised Land. In this first chapter, Moses recaps the journey, reminds them of their parents' failures, and urges them to trust and obey God moving forward. All right? So, setting the stage encompasses verses 1 to 5. The Israelites are camped in the plains of Moab, across from Jericho. It's been 40 years since the Exodus, and Moses is about to die. He begins to explain the law and retell their story. Note, this isn't just history, it's a spiritual coaching before they enter the land. God told them to take the land, verses 6 to 8. At Mount Horeb, Sinai, God told Israel, "You have stayed long enough at this mountain. Go and take possession of the land." The land was promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and their descendants. God was saying the time to move forward had come. Okay, Moses appointed leaders to help, verses 9 to 18. Moses recalls how the burden of leading all the people alone was too much. So he appointed wise and respected men as judges and leaders over groups of 1,150 and 10. He reminds them of the command: do not show partially in judging. The case that is too hard, bring it to me. Lesson: leadership must be sheer fear and grounded in God's justice. Alright, so the rebellion at Kadesh Barnea, verses 19 to 33. Moses retells the story from Numbers 13:14. Okay, God told them to go up and take the land. They asked to send 12 spies, which God allowed. The spies brought back fruit, but 10 spread fear about giants and fortified cities. The people panicked and refused to go, accusing God of bringing them out to die. Moses says, "You did not trust the Lord your God." Even though God had led them with a cloud and fire, they refused to believe. Okay, the next part is the consequences of rebellion. Verses 34 to 40. Because of their unbelief, the generation was barred from entering the land, and only Caleb and Joshua would enter. Even Moses was told he wouldn't enter due to a later failure. Their children, whom they thought would die, would be the ones to inherit the land. 6. The next part is a regretful attempt in another defeat, verses 41 to 46. After realizing their mistakes, some Israelites tried to go into battle anyway, without God's blessing. They were defeated by the Amorites and had to stay in Kadesh for a long time. Okay, what are the things and lessons from this chapter? The first one is obey promptly when God says go. Delayed obedience often becomes disobedience. Second, God leads faithfully even when we don't see how. He had gone ahead of them, guiding and protecting, yet they doubt. Leadership. The third lesson is leadership requires humility and delegation. Moses shared responsibility wisely. And fourth, unbelief has consequences, but God raises up a new generation. Failure didn't end God's plan, it just delayed it, okay? So the conclusion of Deuteronomy 1 sets the tone. Moses says, learn from the past so you don't repeat it. He reminds them, God is faithful even when people fail. Now, a new generation stands on the edge of the land with a fresh opportunity to trust and obey. Okay, so yeah.